WCW Monday Nitro number 195, June 14th, 1999.
You know, one of the things that Nitro had going for it is we didn't watch the pay-per-view the night before.
That probably would have made it worse.
All-time horrible, well, one of many all-time horrible shows.
It was their all-time horrible pay-per-view of the month.
Just fucking terrible. Bunch of shit happened.
The Great American Bash. All I wrote down here was that it was the debut of Master P.
Master P and the No Limit Soldiers are now part of WCW. And Sid is back.
Sid is back, yes. So Team Savage arrived in a Jeep, and out popped Savage in his usual feather boa, black leather gear, and his women in their usual outfits, and Sid in his rugby shirt tucked into blue jeans.
Yeah, he's cool.
He was shop teacher Sid. Let's see. Picks of Conan and Rey Mysterio versus Curt Hennig and Bobby Duncombe.
Hey, at least they're trying to tell us right off the bat what happened at the show. Didn't do a goddamn bit of good.
I don't know who won this match.
I still have no idea what's going on.
I'm aware Barry Windham interfered. I'm aware Swole interfered.
Yeah, Swole is there.
I don't know who actually won the match.
Yeah, $400,000 Swole was paid.
Swole. Tony's confused.
And I think he had about 3 matches and retired in August.
Tony, if you saw the man...
Great man.
Yeah.
If you saw the man, you would say, wow, that guy is swole.
He's very swole.
Actually, he's a little bit fatter Big E. Like Big E is bigger and more jacked than Swole was.
Probably, yeah.
Swole was just a big, heavy guy. He was a muscular guy.
Oh, he was.
It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't that swole. He was a little swollen.
I think he had above average swelling.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess you could say it that way.
Sure.
In our opening match, which I am not making up.
Here we go.
And I don't want to hear you defend Raw after this. Brian Adams and Vincent versus Curt Hennig, and what the hell is Barry Windham wearing?
Okay.
Holy shit.
Let's start at the beginning here, you fucker. This was better than anything on Raw.
By the end, this match was actually a fun little tag match because Curt Hennig and Barry Windham are a fine team.
Not just that. I Hate Rap has debuted on this show. It's a very, very catchy tune.
Confession time. Did anyone else have that song stuck in their head after the show was done?
Dude, it's on my Twitter right now. Not only that, Vinny, not only that, I did a little bit of investigation. I'd love to play the song here on the air, but I'm afraid we'll get shut down. Sure. I'm paranoid now. I can't imagine there being a copyright claim on I Hate Rap, but you never know. So, I Googled it, and did you know that the West Texas Rednecks had, in fact, 2 songs?
There was I Hate Rap.
Yes.
And then later the sequel, Rap is Crap.
No. There's another one they used.
What?
Where they're just good old boys.
Oh, yes. I do remember that one.
They took Jeff Jarrett's music that we have loved for years, and Curt Hennig did the lyrics. It's fucking amazing. So anyway, Curt Hennig's out there. He's just in the best mood. They got this song. Like I said, if you go on YouTube, it's on there. And on YouTube, you can get either their Titantron, which I believe is what I put on the Twitter machine today, or there is another version which includes footage of Curt Hennig and the crew out there in concert. And they're out there. He's playing his guitar.
Sure he is.
They're like at the Rock and Roll, the Country Music Hall of Fame.
The Grand Ole Opry.
They're the Grand Ole Opry. The music is it's so good. Like, it is incredible that in 1999 WCW there could be something this awesome. Now they fuck it up. Like, they don't do a goddamn thing with it. I watched this and I thought, this is their Steve Austin. Curt Hennig is a rap-hating Southern boy in World Championship Wrestling, the most Southern-style wrestling company in the world. That's their Stone Cold Steve Austin. They fucked the whole thing up. Now, the match was terrible. It's Brian Adams and Vincent. But I have one other thing I gotta say, Vinny. These shorts.
Thank you. You're burying the lead.
Yes.
Hold on. No.
I don't care about the music.
Listen,
I don't care about the match.
It's going to sound like I'm defending the shorts, okay? The shorts are fucking terrible, all right? He's got these tight jean booty shorts.
Okay.
No,
but listen to me.
They were 2.5 inches from being Daisy Dukes.
Listen to me. Why were these worse than any of these other fuckers coming out here in their goddamn spandex underwear that's 2 sizes too small? Were these really worse than Norman Smiley's trunks? No, they weren't. Is it just because they were jeans that they were so appalling?
I mean, they covered
Yes.
more skin than wrestling trunks.
They covered way more skin.
But there was something.
They were denim.
They were denim. They had a fly.
Everybody else wears spandex.
Yeah, because you're supposed to in a sport.
Okay, so if I walked in here for my birthday
Oh, please, God, no.
and I wore those jean shorts here, okay? Or I put on my underwear, which happened to be made of spandex. You're telling me
Brian.
the jeans are more appalling?
I wrestled you in those underwear many times, but basically, and in wrestling trunks many times, which are essentially underwear. And yes, the Daisy Duke jean shorts would be creepier.
It's only because the jeans look like something you'd wear in real life, and the trunks are something that you wear in a sport.
Well,
These were something Freddie Mercury would have worn.
You're both.
They were just...
no,
You're
Freddie
just all
Mercury would have
wrong.
said these are too flamboyant.
You know, I never told this story, but when I wrestled Buddy in 2014,
Maybe Elton John. Go ahead.
the one match I wrestled in 8 years, I hadn't wrestled in 4 years, okay? I go to wrestle Buddy in 2014. I put on all my gear. I think nothing of it. And then I'm standing behind the curtain about 5 minutes before we're going to go out there. And I suddenly realized I'm basically naked. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing in this outfit? I'm just fucking ridiculous. We're wrestling fans, so we think nothing of this,
That's not
okay?
an outfit.
But when you haven't been in the ring in 4 years, and all of a sudden you find yourself and you're standing there in a fucking tiny pair of black tights with a broken heart on the ass and nothing else, you're like, this is creepy. And I still went out there.
So there's more than the trunks, or more than the Daisy Dukes. If it was just the Daisy Dukes, maybe I could have moved on. But first of all, he's got a black tank top tucked into the Daisy Dukes.
Right.
It's weird.
He has big, giant knee pads and at least one knee brace. He has, of course, cowboy boots. And let me tell you, the cowboy boots with the Daisy Dukes.
Right.
This is some honky-tonk badonka-donk here. And on top of everything else, he's got, like, yellow carpentry gloves.
Right.
Now that was
Yes.
weird.
Was he... Craig, I've never built a cabinet. Is this the kind of outfit you wear when,
No.
when cabinets are built?
Absolutely not.
You sure they weren't surgical gloves?
These were for some kind of manual
I think
labor.
they were riding gloves, actually, for, riding horses.
Could be. They were for carpentry or horseback riding or gardening, not wrestling.
No carpenter wears gloves, by the way.
Well, I see I'm wrong. But no wrestlers do either. Not like this.
No.
So I'm mystified by this outfit, and I'm sharing it with the world, and thinking we're going to talk about his outfit alone for 90 minutes, and we still might. Someone pointed out, if you look at what Steve Austin was wearing, because Austin at the time was often, when he was at Titan Towers, in fact, he's wearing jorts and a black vest. And if you think about it, you can kind of see Barry may have been trying to dress like Austin and just got it horribly, horribly, horribly wrong.
So the only thing that saves Austin's outfit is the jorts that are super tight, go down a little farther.
They go halfway down the thigh, as opposed to hugging his cheeks.
Also, our good friend Junior Horseman pointed out Barry has the same haircut as the He-Man cartoon character.
That did not help. So they're doing this match. The announcers are talking about the pay-per-view and how
They're doing this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, for an hour. They got the heat on Vincent.
They did. That was my first thought. When this happens, it's the NWO B team and the rap-hating Cowboys. I'm trying to figure out who the good guys are, and by the end I realized it's the B team. Because they got the heat on Vincent and got a hot tag to Brian Adams.
Well, see, the thing, Vinny, is that the West Texas Rednecks are supposed to be heels because Master P and Rey Mysterio and Conan are baby faces.
That's the idea.
And so they figure that if these fuckers come out and say that they hate rap, they're going to be heels. Problem is, it's a Southern wrestling crowd who hates rap.
Yes. Sure.
And so actually the West Texas Rednecks are baby faces.
For most of the shows, yes. So
Well, the other guy was Vincent. Who could cheer that guy?
They did.
They did.
They actually did, because Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham, whatever they're wearing, are great wrestlers. So somewhere in here, the announcers point out that at the pay-per-view, Sting was attacked by dogs.
Right.
I'm so happy we didn't watch that show, because I remember it live. And some of this stuff, it wasn't that bad at the time. You look back on it, it's horrible. When Sting was attacked by dogs, I was ready to give up in WCW forever. It was so terrible. So they get the heat on Vincent. They beat him up. People are chanting. They're clapping for Vincent. They're cheering when Crush gets his hot tag. And then things just fall apart. It breaks down into a four-way. No one knows where they're supposed to be. Wyndham grabs the bull rope. He has to literally manhandle the ref to turn his back to the action. He clunks Vincent with the cowbell, and he pins him.
There's no such thing as a match falling apart, Vinny, until we get further into the show. I will not hear those words for this match.
All right.
This was just some wrestlers who weren't very good. And by wrestlers, I mean Bryan Adams and Vincent.
Right.
But like later, I mean, we actually saw matches fucking fall apart. Like you rarely see.
Bobby Heenan talked about how people in Washington, D.C. really get into it, he says. I can think it's just it's too bad he wasn't here to see the Capitals celebrate the Stanley Cup win, man. That's people getting into it. Clips of a press conference introducing Master P as a part of WCW.
Absolutely incredible.
It really was.
Gene is rattling off the names of Master P's songs.
Master P, I will do my best Gene imitation here. I honestly don't think I'm white enough. The creator-performer of such hits as I Miss My Homies. It's the best I can do.
Master P does his promo. He grew up on wrestling.
Big wrestling fan.
I was a huge fan. So great to step into the wrestling ring. No limits in my life. I'm happy to bring a contribution to the wrestling world. They got Ray there with his shaved head and sunglasses, looking exactly like a mini Conan.
It does.
It's creepy.
I thought it looked like a mini pit bull, but
Eric's there. A lot of positive things that No Limit Soldiers can bring to WCW, he says.
what does P stand for?
Percy.
Yeah, his first name is Percy.
I see.
Now, we're going to make a lot of fun of him starting today and over the next several weeks. But before we do, let's just keep in mind that as recently as 2013, this man was reportedly worth $350 million.
I saw his episode of Cribs back in the day.
Yeah.
Jaw was
Listen.
agape.
Master P was an enormous success as a businessman. And, he, you know, somebody made this comment on the board, and then I watched it, and they're absolutely right. This would not have been such a fucking disaster if they did not do this stupid hootie hoo.
That was a big part of it.
That got annoying quick.
That brought it all off the rails. He's not a bad talker.
No.
You know, he did totally fine in this press conference, but later in the show when he and his crew grab them mics and they start going, hootie hoo hoo.
This is not intimidating.
It died a death the likes of which I may have never seen.
All these giant muscular men in camo.
Yeah.
Who do you? No, I am not intimidated.
It's not even intimidated. It's fucking dumb.
So, yeah.
Is that an owl with a stuttering problem?
An owl has been kicked in the balls, maybe? I don't know. Savage and his women came out. Savage said two things back to back. One, he had officially been crowned the uncrowned champion.
I wrote the exact line down.
Two, Kevin Nash had made the illegal big elbow legal.
He said,
This promo broke my brain.
last night, I was crowned the uncrowned, undisputed world heavyweight champion of all time.
Oh, who are we to argue with the Macho Man?
I was crowned the uncrowned, undisputed world heavyweight champion of all time.
That made sense to Savage.
He also was rattling off the credentials of himself and his crew. He claimed Mona had beaten, this is the exact number, 25,937 women to win the title of Miss Madness.
Did you call her Mona?
That was her name, Miss Madness Mona.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was her name, yeah.
They did not use the Mona part often, but
No.
it was there. So he's ranting and ranting and ranting. He should be champion and Nash should not be, and that's it.
He and George recreated the scene when he pinned Nash last night, and he was the unstoppable force, and her boobs were the immovable objects.
She looked a lot like Jessica Rabbit without the red hair tonight.
That's fair.
She was flat on her back, and it was incredible.
They don't move.
They don't move. They don't move at all.
No.
Okay? Not even like a tiny little bit.
No.
They're absolutely, it literally is like a Barbie doll if you laid it on its back.
Yes.
They're never going to be able to bury this woman at sea.
Tony liked that one.
Thank you, Tony.
We had pics of Sting being attacked by the Steiner brothers, Tank Abbott, and dogs. I can't... If you didn't see the show, if you've never seen it, I can't express how stupid this was. How poorly conceived, executed, shot, filmed. Everything about Sting being attacked by dogs was terrible. Like, it's burned in my brain. Hugh Morris versus Kidman. You got Bobby Heenan saying Huna Conranas. We had Kidman bumping his ass off, taking a hellacious beating. Then he set up a chair, but he stopped to punch Jimmy Hart, which was stupid. And Morris slammed him onto the chair, which he deserved. And Kidman hit a facebuster onto the chair, and a shooting star press for the win. I don't know why these chair shots were allowed.
Who cares?
Right.
I will say that upon watching this and having another 19 years of seeing guys like Ricochet and M-Dog, Kidman has to have the least graceful, ugliest shooting star press in the history of wrestling.
It's up there.
Who's worse?
Even Mark Marrow. At least
Mark Barrows was way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tucked in, but, I mean, oh my God.
Ric Flair and Arn Anderson came out for a promo.
So keep in mind, last night, Flair and Piper wrestled each other.
I don't even want to talk about this. It's so completely illogical and nonsensical.
Well, they joined up after the match. Piper turned heel.
Okay, yeah. So Roddy Piper last week on Nitro told Marcus Bagwell, if I beat Flair and am president of the company, I'm going to give you the ball. So Piper is wrestling Flair for the presidency of the company, and Marcus Bagwell comes out and attacks Flair. Piper is just DQ'd. Flair wins.
Right.
And then Piper turns heel, and they beat up Bagwell. What? Seriously, what happened? Why?
Well, I understand Bagwell's motivation.
Why?
He wanted to see Piper lose.
No, he wanted Piper to win.
Excuse me?
If Piper wins, he was going to give Marcus the ball.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused too.
Yeah. So Flair comes out, threatens to bang a fan's mom.
All the fans.
He says he wants Piper to be his vice president, and says Piper's going to bang Hillary.
He says Piper needs to come out and become the vice president of the world alongside him.
Yes. So Piper comes out with his bagpipe band. He goes on a rant about the Clintons and addressing the whining wrestlers in the back. He accepts Flair's offer, making sure that he gets to be in charge if Flair dies. And Flair says, hey, at my age, I could drop dead right here. 1999, he said this. So Flair and Piper shake hands, they're dancing, and out comes Buzzkill Dean Malenko to kill the fun.
Actually, you know what? Last week I said he was out for a, reprogramming. Mm-hmm. This promo actually showed some fire.
He did?
I suppose.
I thought so.
I thought it was terrible.
Okay.
It was, I did love the line. Roddy Piper's out there and he's doing this crazy promo. Some of it's good, some of it's shitty. Some of it he comes off a little like Brent, where he thinks he's a lot funnier than he actually is. And he has one awesome line where in the middle of his crazy tirade, he says, and I quote, I have done everything and some stuff that I've made up.
Did say that?
That's the most accurate thing Roddy Piper has ever said in his life.
Yes. So Dean starts whining about how it's time to pass the torch. And he says, you need to be like John Elway and pass the torch to a younger football player. Which is not what happened. John Elway won back-to-back Super Bowls and then retired. He took that torch home. It's still hanging on his wall in Denver.
Can we mention, by the way, before we go on, that Piper's excited to be the president.
Vice president.
Vice president. But they make sure to say, since you're the president and I'm the vice president, if you get hit by a turnip truck, does that mean that I'm the president? And Flair says, at my age, I could drop dead right now. Roddy's all excited. So even though, did you mention this whole thing?
I might have.
I had an issue I was dealing with on the text message.
he did.
Anyway, then Rick starts screaming, Hot Rod. Did you mention that? Hot Rod.
I did not say
Hot
that,
Rod.
no.
Hot Rod. Okay, I added something then. He was very excited.
Well, thank God.
Very excited to say Hot Rod.
Anyway,
I was texting with my wife when you brought it up. I'm sorry.
Arn tells Dean,
The babe's trying to escape her crib.
oh,
That's not good.
do you have the camera in there?
There's a camera in there, yeah.
Can we put the cam on the video?
No, I can't do it here.
Because frankly, that sounds more exciting than us.
Well, it's more exciting than the show.
Does she have like her blankets tied together? And
Well, no, she's got a sleep
rappelling
suit on.
down?
She's got like a sleep suit, zips up, so she can't get out.
I see.
But she's trying.
Okay.
They have Velcro.
I'm not Velcroing the child down. It wouldn't hold her down anyway.
All right, whatever.
She's 2.5.
Explain to me about the sleep suit then, because it sounds like the same thing.
Imagine a sleeping bag with armholes that zips up, but you can't unzip it.
So her
so you
feet
have
are
no
contained.
legs.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Anyway, Piper starts attacking Dean. They're all beating him up. Out comes Buff to run out and attack them. Chris Benoit and Saturn are backstage.
just chilling out.
Chilling. Benoit points to the monitor. Hey, check this out. They decide to go attack. They are jumped by the Jersey Triad, which makes sense because Paige is like the same age as Flair and Piper, so it figures he'd be on their side. The cat comes out.
Before that, I just want to mention how much I hate that storyline with Dean Malenko. His line about how, have some class, step down, and pass the torch. You say your class, prove it. It's like, fucker, you prove it.
Yeah.
Beat him.
Yes.
The fuck are you talking about? What ball are you going to give him?
I mean, I think I made the comment during the match later, but if I, for the rest of my life, never have to hear about one wrestler telling another, I'm being held down.
It sucks.
Yeah, fuck you. Cat comes out, says he is not finished with Scott Norton. If Norton doesn't come out...
I'm finished with Scott Norton and the cat.
If Norton doesn't come out, Cat says, I'm going to put on my karate gi and beat up all the fans.
That I'd pay to see.
Please don't come out, Scott Norton. This sounds more fun. So, as far as I can tell, by the way, the NWB team is now baby faces. Because they're feuding with a cat who hates the fans. They're feuding with the rednecks who hate rap music. So, we guess Scott Norton versus Cat.
Now, there's a very important detail here. So, before he comes out, Shat produces a box. And he opens it up, and there are some new red dancing shoes. And so, the storyline is that these are his dancing shoes, but they're also loaded
Sure.
and can be used as weapons. Okay, fine idea.
Sure.
All right? That's a nice idea and storyline.
On paper, it sounds great.
This guy's a dancer, and he's got special shoes that he dances in, but that he could also use as a weapon. Okay? The problem is, these are actual dancing shoes.
Right. No
And
soul.
so on the bottom of them, there's whatever they put on the bottom of dancing shoes, so they're super slick.
Yep.
So they're having this fucking match. I'll let you talk about Bischoff. I got to talk about the finish. You want to talk about a goddamn match falling apart?
Yeah, this was worse, actually.
So he's in there, and Shat puts on his magic shoe.
Just one.
Just one, yeah, just one. And the whole idea is that he's going to kick Scott Norton with this deal. So he goes to throw a kick at Norton, but it goes over his head, and then the spot is simply duck the clothesline. But because he's wearing this fucking shoe, he goes to duck the clothesline, and his feet go whoosh, and slip out from underneath him. He falls down on his ass. Now the timing is off for everything. Because what's supposed to happen is he misses the kick, he ducks the clothesline, Norton goes for it again, and he hits the referee. Well, instead, he ducks, he falls on his ass, Norton's standing there, the Shat is down. He has to wait for him to get up, and then he goes, ugh! And Shat has to fall down again, even though he fell down and got up, now he falls down. And Norton has to hit the referee. It's the fucking most horrific miss spot you've ever seen.
I'm actually blown away you were able to figure out what they were even trying to do.
I watched it like 6 times. Because I was just watching it going... First I watched it and I thought, what the fuck happened here? What the fuck happened here? I watched it again. By about the 4th time, I saw him slip.
Okay.
And then I saw the shoe on that foot, and I realized he's using an actual dancing shoe for a gimmick, but he also has to, like, run around.
Yes.
This company is so fucking stupid.
Well, all I wrote about this was that it was a horribly botched finish with everyone out of position, and it was unwatchable.
It was always watchable, all right.
This is where... I'm not sure how... Bischoff joined in the middle of the show, the commentary desk. He was not there at the beginning. He came in halfway through. I don't know if this was his first match or not, but this is the first time I started.
It was the first one.
So first he starts talking about somebody throws a kick to the side of the knee. Bischoff says, you know, you can take a man's knee out with 8.5 pounds of pressure.
That's right.
Fuck off, you idiot.
Then Cat throws a kick, and Eric Bischoff starts to bury Jim Ross by name.
Yep.
For only being able to call things a savate kick or a side kick. So all Jim Ross ever says, according to Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff, the man whose middle name is back leg front kick, is making fun of somebody else for not knowing the names of kicks.
It's not even that. Shat threw a kick, okay? And Tony Schiavone calls it a roundhouse, okay? And granted, the guy was supposed to duck, but Bischoff is going off on Schiavone going, that's actually an inside crescent kick.
Yes.
I'm like, motherfucker, it was a fucking round kick. It was a roundhouse, you fucking idiot. He's going on, and then he starts going off on Jim Ross. Then he actually says, I don't even know what a savate kick is.
Yeah.
Well, savate is a French martial art, and they fucking kick. You fucking idiot.
Yes.
Who claims to be a martial arts expert. Just goes on and on.
Also in this match, at one point, Sonny Ono got involved with a crowbar.
Yes.
We didn't even mention this part.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
He blows his intention. He totally misses, and the crowbar is laying in the ring. Cat throws the kick and is more concerned about getting the shoe out of the vision of the ref while the crowbar is sitting inches away from the ref.
That's not even the biggest thing. Norton gets hit with a crowbar,
Right.
kicks out. Gets hit with a boot, pinned. Those shoes, those fucking shoes are more damaging than a goddamn iron crowbar.
So at last, this giant stinking pile of shit ends, and we move right into Disco Inferno and Van Hammer. Are you really going to tell me Raw's worse than this?
Yeah, I am.
Disco Inferno and Van fucking Hammer. No one gave a shit about this match. It sucked.
It was bad.
It went for a long time. It sucked
fucked up
and it
a neck
sucked,
breaker.
and nobody cared. Dude, that fucking neck breaker. Oh my god. Like, Disco, think about...
It's so simple.
Disco grabs him by the head. All you got to do to take a neck breaker, you bend over, the dude grabs your head, you spin and land on your back.
Yeah.
Hammer, it's like he's trying to break dance. He spins, goes down like on the back of his neck, like straight down. He somehow managed to, I mean, you think just from physics, if you're bent over and you roll, you're gonna come this way, right? Hammer goes like this way. He broke space-time trying to take this neck breaker.
It's like he spun the wrong way. I don't know exactly.
Maybe he
what
was
happened.
expecting a shake, rattle, and roll, and Disco was just going to go on number one.
I was so pissed when
Or
he fucked up
something.
that neck breaker.
It's bad.
It goes on and on. They do another neck breaker. The ref gets bumped. Can't have a clean finish in Disco Inferno and Van Hammer. And then Hammer hits a back suplex.
Yeah.
And he hooks the tights, and he fucking wins.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Vinny,
All of you.
Vinny, do you know what the problem is with this whole thing?
Well, there's a long list, but go ahead.
Problem is, like, in every bad thing that we've talked about so far, I can find one bit of silver lining. I can hear I hate rap.
This must be a new thing.
I can see that
You're on the right show.
Master P was trying until he said hootie hoo. Gorgeous George was out there. Flair and Roddy Piper were funny. Flair kept screaming "Hot Rod" over and over again. Ernest Cad Miller had that hilarious fucking miss spot that I watched 65 times and laughed harder every time. And, you know, Disco and Van Hammer, you know, Scott Dickinson took a stunner afterwards. It was better than any stunner Vince McMahon ever took in his entire life. So in every segment, there was like one redeeming quality. On Raw, nothing redeeming.
I'll get to it.
Nothing.
This was bullshit. Everything about this sucked. This week of all weeks, they plugged Dennis Rodman returning to WCW.
Right?
Fuck yeah, he's
amazing.
back, baby. This next match wasn't bad.
No, I love this match.
Picks of the Jersey Triad somehow beating Benoit and Saturn for the tag belts of the pay-per-view. Then we had Fit Finley versus Brian Knobbs.
Yeah. A guy who's not going to take Brian Knobbs' shit.
Nope.
And didn't, and beat the hell out of him.
I'll be honest, Brian. I wrote here these exact words. This was better than the disco match.
Yeah, it was.
Let me write that down.
Now, also, nobody cared about it. The ref got bumped, a chair got used, Hack hit Knobbs with a stick, and Finley won.
Yes, that all happened.
Sable was shown in the crowd.
You don't remember this?
Nope.
Where were you?
Watching Raw.
Man, she was unbelievably attractive as well.
I know. They took her
Wearing
out of the...
so many clothes.
Listen.
Like, she was way more attractive in clothes than she was when they always made her come out on Raw with no clothes on.
Listen.
It's not like she was unattractive.
I'm a big
Wearing
fan
no
of,
clothes.
I'm a big fan of vinyl. I'll just leave it at that. And
Now I'm weirded out.
and when she was
Look at me.
dressed up, she was sexy.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just said that she was really sexy wearing, like, that outfit she wore on the show? Her business attire?
Yeah.
Do we have to hear about your vinyl fetish?
It's not a fetish. I just like what I like. What?
So they couldn't
I
name
don't
her.
wear a mask or anything.
A.
For God's sake.
He couldn't.
This gets worse.
They couldn't name her. Obviously, they couldn't even call her Rena Mero. They just said, "Hey, there she is. She's been in Playboy." And they had some guys, just random guys, sitting next to her, doing their best to ensure the pervy fans did not manhandle her. And
Those guys had a job to do.
it did. Nash comes out for a promo. Nash comes out. Bischoff gets all cheesy, super over-the-top excited. Oh my gosh, it's the World Heavyweight Champion. We're so lucky to see him here. And he says, that's how you talk, Shivani. So, Eric Bischoff, for weeks now, has been telling us, the viewer, that he is going to save Nitro. It's a bad show, he says, but I'm going to turn it around. Then he comes out here and he buries his own lead play-by-play guy for showing passion and energy. What the fuck?
He's an absolute fucking idiot, but we'll get to more on that later.
Now,
The spring and summer of 1999 showed what a stupid, stupid man Eric Bischoff can be.
the world champion came out wearing sandals,
Which he addressed, yes.
cut off shorts. He was wearing jorts
Thank God they weren't too tight.
and a generic
Yes.
generic t-shirt. This is your world champion.
Actually, I'll top you on that, Greg. Was it here or it may have been his later appearance? But at some point in the show, Kevin Nash comes out in an NWO tie-dye t-shirt. Even though, as far as I can tell, he's the only one left in the NWO.
Sure.
And also on the back, it has the peace sign with a red circle and slash through it. Kevin Nash ripped off Van Hammer's gear.
I was going to say, you sure you weren't mistaking
I am
him
quite
and
certain,
Hammer?
because he came out right afterwards.
I mean, once the bell rings,
Let's not go there. There's no winners in that discussion. So,
who should appear on the big screen but Sid? Sid Vicious is back. In his first appearance since stabbing Arn Anderson in a hotel room in like 1993, he's back. And he appears and he cuts a promo. He knows all the buttons to push. And he pushed the right ones last night, and Nash has made the biggest mistake of his life. They're fighting for the title in the main event of Nitro tonight. What a main event we have to look forward to.
can't wait.
Very disappointing promo by Sid. Way too coherent. Didn't fuck anything up.
I never really, they don't use him very often, so I never paid attention, but how can a company owned by Ted Turner have a screen so lame compared to Monday Night Raw?
because
Right.
because WWE had their own screen. This was a screen inside the building.
What about the one above their stage setup?
Fuck if I know.
Why can't they, if they're going to use a screen,
I couldn't answer that question.
company owned by Ted Turner and
It's
Turner Network
WCW.
Enterprises to get a better screen?
That's the answer.
We had pics of Piper and Flair and Bagwell and fuck.
Who?
I don't know who that guy is.
Whatever. All I knew is by the time this video package aired, I wanted to find the cemetery where WCW is buried and vandalize their headstone.
Oh, terrible.
Wow.
Flair, Piper, Kanyon, and DDP versus Benoit, Malenko, Saturn, and Bagwell.
This was good.
Yeah, they had a lot of good wrestlers, all action.
Let's put Chris Benoit in the ring for 10 minutes.
fair.
Just let it happen.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that his stuff, and this is what happened. It was Benoit in the ring by himself for 10 minutes against the other four guys. His stuff with Flair and Piper, I thought was much better than the stuff with Saturn and, or with Kanyon and Page. Because Kanyon and Page were in there, they're trying to do moves and spots. And then Flair and Piper get in there and they just fight. And the fighting was really good. Let's see. Quadruple figure four spot, which is always fun.
Except Dean Malenko couldn't figure out how to do a figure four.
Well, but Bagwell got in his way.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Bagwell gets the hot tag. They teased and built it up so well. Place goes crazy. Dudes are fighting in and out of the ring, and suddenly Bagwell pins Flair with a blockbuster out of nowhere.
Hey, sweet.
A clean pin.
Bagwell beats Ric Flair clean in the middle of the ring, blockbuster off the top rope. After all this bullshit about passing the torch and all this shit, finally a guy just beats somebody.
Yeah. Hack versus Rick Steiner. Bischoff absolutely slurring his speech, trying to talk about how Chastity, she looks tough. She still looks good. She's a movie star. I haven't seen him. He's just it's off in space. I'm guessing Rick Steiner's gear got lost because he's out there in jeans.
No, that's his new gimmick.
It's a hardcore match.
And a
Yeah.
WCW okay, well, whatever. So he's out there in jeans and a WCW sweatshirt and his sunglasses, which stayed on for a long time in this brawl.
And a dip in his mouth.
And tip in his mouth.
Dude,
didn't notice that, but it makes
his
it
new
better.
gimmick is awesome. I
just-
love it.
He's just Rick Steiner.
Just beat the shit out of this guy. They literally, like, they didn't completely destroy a Hummer. So I can't come out here and say that they destroyed $500,000 worth of stuff, but they destroyed a Hummer. They destroyed a Harley Davidson. They destroyed a camper.
Wasn't a real Harley.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I know.
It was a goddamn motorcycle. Like, they probably legit did $50,000 worth of damage here.
Listen, in the backstage area, you're telling me there was a Hummer. I can believe that. There was a
camper.
85 Ford Bronco that was lifted. That just happened to be back there.
Yeah.
There was a nice bike, not a Harley. There was a camper trailer from the late 60s.
Sure, yeah.
Just happened to be there.
Well, you know, some people like to travel in a camper.
And by the way, with the camper came a sectional.
Yeah.
This is backstage in the...
Yes, Craig. Some people like to travel in style.
I believe none of this.
You think they're just piling into a rental car after the show?
Of
Come on
all
now.
the unbelievable things on this show.
In this segment!
That's your fucking problem?
Absolutely.
So I want to draw attention to one thing, which is that let's not say that they just hit each other with vehicles or threw each other into vehicles. At one point, Hack turns his back to Bam Bam and starts throwing kicks at this fucking bike.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
What did the bike do to you, dude?
Okay, I got one for you, Craig.
Okay.
Okay, so you're all appalled that there's a 1960s camper back there with a fucking sectional. Okay,
Yeah.
I find it more preposterous that earlier in the day,
Yes.
Sting was sitting there and he thought, I have a vision. Tonight on Nitro, it's going to be Rick Steiner versus Hack.
Sure.
And these two shitheads are going to brawl backstage. And I'll bet you anything that they're going to brawl on top of this fucking car right here.
Sure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the goddamn car, and I'm going to be ready to jump out and go after Rick Steiner when that happens.
I'm going to put on my gear.
Yeah, I'm
put
going
on
to paint my face.
I'm going to paint my face.
I'm so mad I'm going to do my face up.
I'm going to hide in this particular convertible Hummer for hours and hours.
Yes! That's stupid.
Yeah.
So eventually Steiner slams Hack through the roof of the convertible Hummer, but Sting pops out and attacks him, beats him with a bat a lot, goes to the ring, and just cuts an insane promo.
Well, I would have thought it was insane, but I've been watching his 88 promo, so it wasn't that crazy.
That's actually a fair point.
Yeah, this was tame.
I mean,
He didn't just randomly go, ah!
he did that back in the day.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Yes.
Every time he lost his train of thought, he'd just scream.
So Sting is attacking Rick Steiner with a baseball bat, a
Yes.
potentially lethal weapon. Bischoff's out here making jokes about home runs and doubles. Doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Turn this.
Bischoff killed this entire show. Like, every word Bischoff spoke, my opinion of him lowered. And it wasn't that high to begin with. So then Sting, in seriously one of the great feats of strength of his career, he just throws Rick Steiner over his shoulder and carts him out. Steiner's a big dude.
Yeah.
So there was no finish to this hardcore match between Hack and Rick Steiner. La Parka and Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio Jr. and Conan.
This was fun.
Your boy Eric Bischoff is rambling during this match.
Oh,
Now-
I noted some stuff.
Now, keep in mind what we have seen up to this point, and keep in mind that the main event of the show is going to have no fucking finish, and they're not even going to give you the match that they promised. This fucking guy is going on and on about how we're turning things around.
It's
We're-
gonna take time.
It's going to take time, but you know what? We're committed to doing things right. Fuck you. You're a goddamn idiot.
This is the same match, by the way, where he said this is going to be, quote, hip hop meets kick butt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
No.
Him telling me they're going to turn this goddamn thing around in the middle of this fucking show, that's not okay.
The fact that he was talking about turning Nitro around when he was by far the worst part of the show is actually amazing. So, they did a very US style tag match with the heat on Conan and a hot tag to Ray. Conan did a tope in this match.
He did.
He did.
He,
He
was
away.
feeling it. He had the No Limit Soldiers out there.
I
This
guess
guy's got
so.
so much money.
He had his working shoes on.
It was like, man, I'm going to get in good with Master P.
So Conan hits an X Factor and Ray hits a diving Rana and they get the double pin. And then as soon as they get the win, I hate rap plays. And the Cowboys are taunting them from DJ Rand's booth. And Master P and his crew go running over. And the Cowboys flee. And P cuts a promo on him and says, hooty hoo! Over and over again.
God, I was dying. This jumped the shark so fucking fast. If they would have just chased away those rednecks and grabbed the mic and said, we're going to kick your ass. How dare you play that bullshit over our song right here? Disrespect DJ Rand's booth. Instead, they get up there and they just start jumping around going, hooty-hoo! I'm like, you're supposed to be cool?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the most uncool thing I've ever seen. Ever in my life.
They did actually play a Master P song on the network.
Yeah.
I was
he did.
stunned. Kevin Nash versus Sid Vicious.
God.
for the prestigious WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Shall I do the buffer intros?
I only wrote down one part.
All right, I got Nash's and Sid's. So on Kevin Nash, Michael Buffer, who is back, by the way, been gone for a while. They decided to pay out that big money to turn this ship around. He says of Kevin Nash, this superstar is universally recognized as the best big man in professional wrestling. His signature trademark is the jackknife powerbomb, but he's also known for his ignore the pain courage.
Excuse me.
And tonight, with fractured ribs and bad knee, he again refuses the doctor's advice to pull out of this match. And yes, he said knee singular in that sentence that exact same way.
He's known for his ignore the pain courage.
Yes.
Now, you can put hyphens in there, I guess. This is some very, very poor English.
Sid comes out. He stands 6 feet 10 inches tall.
Correction. Sid's supposed to come out.
He's supposed to come out. They play the music. He stands 6 feet 10 inches tall and weighs 314 pounds. Last night, he made a spectacular but disruptive appearance at the WCW Great American Bash. And now, he gets a chance for the title. The man also known as the superstar among big men, and he is also known as a master of the powerbomb.
I have never seen a greater example of self-parody than Michael Buffer doing WCW ring intros.
It's awesome. I should have written everyone down in history.
Let's do that book next.
Yeah.
A collection of Michael Buffer ring intros.
Yeah.
So Sid does not come out for his entrance. Randy Savage comes out instead. He says, I want the belt. Nash says, come and get it. So Savage goes into the ring. Nash drops the belt at his feet. Savage bends over to pick it up, and Nash punches him, and the bell rings.
Yeah.
So now we're having a match, I guess, between Nash and Savage. The women are just in the ring, blatantly attacking Nash. No one cares. Sid runs out and attacks Nash.
Oh my God. Sid sprinting to the ring was worthy of many rewinds.
So the fans start calling for Goldberg. And by the way, where the hell did Goldberg go?
Fuck if I know.
It's been like a month.
He's just gone.
They mentioned that Bischoff had mentioned that he's been hurt.
Huh.
He said he was on the shelf during the show.
So somewhere in here, as Kevin Nash is fighting 5 people, the ref calls for the DQ. Eric Bischoff is outraged. Let it go, he says. Let it go. As the champion of his company
I was so mad.
is being mauled.
It's just like,
Fuck you.
he's... I can't even think of like a good analogy. It would be like if one day you guys drove all the way out here and I was in a really bad mood and I was like, we ain't fucking doing the show. And then as I say, we ain't fucking doing the show, go home, I was simultaneously saying, just do the show. But then I forced you out as I'm saying, oh, I'm just going to do the show, but get out of here.
This is believable.
I'm okay with this, actually.
I've never done it, though.
No.
Eric Bischoff here.
Let's try it
booked
next week.
bullshit in the main event, and then is crying that the main event finish is bullshit.
Yes.
For a fucking finish he fucking booked.
Got me, dude.
Where's your damn music?
Play the fucking music.
This show sucks. Might want to turn it up, I guess.
The finishes on this god-awful show were pin after cowbell shot, pin after multiple chair spots, but the ref let it go, so I guess it counts as a clean pin. Pin after crowbar shot, pin after a back suplex and a pull of the tights, pin after chair and stick shots, clean pin, no finish in a hardcore match, DQ in the main event, even though the promoter thought it was cool that one guy was fighting 5 people.
Bad.